I've made a mock-up. This is a piece of 1mm aluminium that I've cut into a shape. I've just riveted aluminium angles here at the back. So what I did first was I've measured out the center and I've measured out these two wings. From there to the center, the point left 40 millimeters higher, and this whole thing is 15.5 inches wide, 39 millimeters. And this end part was cut bigger, sort of like that shape, and then I've clamped it on this part onto the truck, and then bent those parts around and just roughly draw the shape, the outline, and cut it. So yeah, this I can take now to the laser cutter guys, and the draftsman will draw up this visor for me. As you can see, this is going to be slots that's going to be cut here. This is the center of the light. These are the lights that I'm going to put behind. So I'm going to make a bracket which holds these lights behind, and also I'm going to try and make this thing blind mount so that there's going to be no holes on the front side of this visor, and it's going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 lights on each side of the center. So in total there's going to be 8 lights on it. Yeah, this is another bumper I'm busy with for a FLD120, and then here is a Scania 560 that I have to build a straight pipe for this. That's the next job to do. So yeah, there you can see the FLD with the normal visor on. Yeah, the bumper and grill is off because I'm busy using the old bumper for measurements and stuff to build the new bumper for another guy who also got a FLD120. So yeah, that's it. Okay, here I'm standing at my N14 engine and my C15, and this is the other FLD that I'm using now to get the visor right. As you can see there is just rough brackets that I've made to get the angle right and so on. Those brackets I'm going to take off and use them for reference to draw up the laser cut brackets that I'm going to put on the truck. So now I'm going to clamp the visor onto those brackets again and just put one screw on each side to hold it in place. All right. I've seen many visors that's around 18 or 20 inches. I don't like to sit down low on the floor, so that I have to stretch my neck to see over the the dashboard to what is going on in the road. So I sit up high, my eyes are at that height and not down there at that height where I have to stretch my neck just to look outside of the window. So yeah, this is my visor. My visor is 15.5 inches and it is not so close to the window as I've seen many visors on YouTube that you get in the States. Mine is a little bit further from the window. I will move this ladder so that I can get footage from the side. Right. This is how it's going to look from the side. It's angled at around 60 degrees down. And it's going to look cool. My visor for the FLD came with all the parts. These parts go here at the bottom. I'm going to weld on a stud here. So this is just to adjust, because on the truck cab where these brackets bolt onto, some of them are not lined up vertically perfectly. So this is just to adjust for that, because it's a blind mount visor, so the mounting is on these lips. So on the front side there will be no bolts showing. And then these are the brackets for these lights. So these brackets sits like this behind these slots. These I'm gonna epoxy onto the visor from the rear side, and then I have to roll these sides around. So yeah, I have too much work at this moment. As you can see here, there's a Volvo truck standing that I need to put a straight pipe on. And this is the FLD timing cover is leaking, so I have to fit a new timing cover on here. So that's another job that I got to do. I'm waiting on a mechanic to come and help me, that I have the tools to remove this pulley, and that are bringing the parts. So and then I'm gonna fit new engine mount rubbers there at the bottom. So that's basically it. And hopefully I'll get time this weekend to start with the visor. I'm removing the visor here. Next step will be to remove that bolts, very rusted out bolts. So I'm going to struggle a bit there. One of these, that one was seized up. I had to, cut the groove and use a flat screwdriver. Also one on the other side. And then when the visor is removed, I can start with the stainless steel visor. The new timing cover, second-hand timing cover is in. So I'm gonna respray this. Also the water pump, I put a new water pump on next to the road, so I never had a chance to paint that. So I'm gonna paint up everything in front, and then there's some new engine rubbers inside. New engine mount rubbers. So then I can put everything back again. Start putting back the radiator and everything. Right, the visor is off. All the bolts was rusted, so it took a while, but the impact tool made short work of it. So now I can start with that, with this visor, getting the lights and everything in. I've already welded the studs on here, and these must go now there onto the cap, onto that brackets. This is the bracket now finished or assembled. This part has a slot so it can move up and down, and it can also move a little bit to the side. That's just to compensate for those brackets if they are not, if you look from the front, some of them are sitting a little bit skew, so that's just to make up for that. And this cutout in the bracket is for the lights. Some of these brackets falls over a light that sits behind the visor, so that's just to make space for the lights. Okay, here's the bracket in its place, so must still be adjusted to this with this bolts. So I'm going to put on all 4 brackets, and then I will roll the sides of the visor, put the visor on, mark the holes in the visor lip where it must attach to the brackets. As you can see here, I've seen that most of the visors, the very low drop visors that you get from the States, I see Dominguez Ironworks and those guys on YouTube, you cut this bracket, this front part of the bracket off, and you use only this rear part, because this bracket that bolts onto these are sitting closer to the windscreen. So, but I don't like that look. From the front it's okay, but from the side I like the slope of the visor to be more in between the slope of the windscreen and the slope of the cap. Okay, this is just a piece of 6-inch stainless steel pipe that I've made a bracket, or welded the bracket on, and then I clamp it onto the table, and now I'm gonna roll this side around it. All right. Now I need to measure out the holes to mount to the brackets, and put the lights on. But yes, it fits there on the truck. That visor is now, as I said, 15.5 inches. That visor is just over 10 inches. 300 millimeters, 309 millimeters, sorry, 390 millimeters. So that's 9 centimeters. That's about 2.5 inches. Sorry, 3.5 inches. Yeah, 3.5 inches wider than that visor. Right. It's still not in position, but you can see the slope of it, and I do think I like it. There's some small minor changes that I'm gonna make. The cutout for the round, because I've worked on aluminium, which is much softer than the stainless steel, and so that the radius does not come out the same, so it makes a difference to that. It looks like there's a little cut out, so I have to fill that part in. Okay, that's the position the light is sitting in, behind the visor. This is the angle the visor is sitting on, so the light is going to be I see that I'm going to run into some troubles here fitting these bolts holding the visor, so I'll have to make a plan there. Okay, the brackets that I've made for these lights, this is how they look, and as I said, they come with the angle so that when it sits here, the light faces forward more at it's not shining up into the air, but it's sitting at an angle to face forward more vertically. But now I see I'm going to sit with the problem. That light coming out at the bottom of the bracket and the top of the bracket. So I've bent in these lips in these brackets so that the bracket can be stiffer. But I see now that I have to make these lips longer so that it can go all the way to the end of the bracket and the rear and the front or top and at the bottom as well, so that it can close the space on the back side to prevent that light shining down and shining up and shining into the cab, disturbing or shining onto the windscreen from the front, which is gonna be a little bit of a issue when you're driving. So yeah, these brackets, I'm gonna let them bend the new brackets for me so that I can put that on. Okay, the mounting holes is drilled, and on that side, so now I can put it onto the brackets and tighten it down, and then yeah, I'm going to wait for the new laser cut brackets with the closed ends on both sides, so that the light is not coming through here at the bottom and at the top, but I want to have that before next week. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, install the visor so long, and when these brackets come, I will take the visor down again and then install the brackets and do the wiring and everything. Okay, it's tightened at the top with this button heads, 6mm button heads, and let me climb off here, and then at the bottom with these. So now only that bolt needs to be tightened, then everything is in place. But it's already very sturdy. Yeah, and then it's just here on the sides, these bolts. the driver that was on the truck. He took out that 1/4 inch bolts there and put in metric M6 bolts and buggered up the thread inside the inserts in the cab. So I can't screw that, tighten that. But yeah, as you can see from the side, that's the look of the visor from the side, sloping a little bit forward and more away from the windscreen. But I think it's going to look nice. It looks very good to me. I pulled off the PVC just to see how it looks. As you can see, it's a blind mount visor. There's no bolt sticking out on the outside. So yeah, lekker man. It looks nice. Clean. No lights, no bolts sticking out. And then I'm also busy working on this truck, putting a straight pipe on. So that I'll have to go on with tomorrow morning. But for now I need to put in all these lights and finish up the wiring. Okay, the lights are in, wired up. Very nice. Visor is on. The lights are working. I still have to put in the bolts at the bottom and here on the side.